What's up, guys? Welcome to Season 9. Yes, Season 9 of the Real Paranormal Stories. It's absolutely nuts to me that we now have officially reached Season 9. We are now, because I do 5 episodes now, but I am technically going to be doing 6 episodes because each time a series of mine reaches 10 episodes, there will be a special, like my favorite memories of 10 seasons of the show and all that stuff, and it'll be fun. It'll be really fun. So the theme for these 5 episodes will be cold spots. I have been seeing a lot of different types of cold spots and a rush of cold air around me. Way more than I ever have in my entire life. And I do not know why. I have theories, but they're just theories. And I don't know, it's very strange. I don't know what it means, but this theme will go out around the entire season. And now Paranormal Adventures, I'm going to do something a little bit different. It'll be the same, but it'll be experiences in several different houses. Now the season premiere, and the season finale will all be basically the same. They will have the same stories, except this story and the last story of the season will be pretty big. It'll be big because I want to start doing that, making the season finale and the season premiere feel big and epic, as I believe most season finales should be. Season finales and season premieres should be your biggest episodes in terms of viewers, ratings, and all that stuff. Because I present my shows as they would on TV. I want to tell my biggest paranormal experiences that I've had just before the season aired, or just around when the season started. For that way it feels more, but I still can't believe 9 seasons. God. Alright, so I was FaceTiming. All of us were FaceTiming. Now this will be a 2-parter, and the reason being is that because this experience, if I told the whole thing, it would last probably 40 minutes. And these episodes, 2, 3, 4, those episodes I like to be shorter. But, so, we were all FaceTiming, like we normally do. And we were just talking about everybody's day, how everybody's doing, and stuff like that. And we were all sitting around. I believe we were talking about, what we're going to watch for the day, stuff like that. Thinking about what we're doing, with everything that's going on in the world. I've been just constantly asking how everybody's doing. Some of my friends live in Florida, and Florida has had a lot of cases lately. A lot. I think they had a single-day record in the United States, I think yesterday, and I think it was 9 or 10,000. Then Texas, which is where most of my other friends live. I do have 2 friends that live in Oklahoma and stuff like that. But Yeah, it's been just when everyone thinks everybody get back. And I'm the kind of person that believes we should not be opening everything up. Like, I like basketball, I like football. In my opinion, I'd rather see my favorite teams, favorite players be able to play when there's safety. I completely believe in safety first before entertainment. Entertainment second, safety first. And I'm one of the people that believes that nobody should be opening up anything right now. Because once you open everything up, it's just going to get even worse. Because I read that the second round of this is going to be way worse than the first round. And if we don't listen, then when it happens again, the third round, it's going to be even worse. So, yeah. But, so we were all talking. We were all asking our day, what we want to do. When Mike and Matt were talking, and all of a sudden they're like, what the hell was that? And we're like, what? They're like, now Jennifer and Sarah, usually they would all be together, but we all agreed that we all needed to go home, be with our families, because we don't know how long this is going to last. So, but we were all sitting, and all of a sudden they said, what was that? We're like, what? And they're like, that, like, rush of cold air. And I'm like, oh shit. They're like, what? And I said, well, and I told them that over the last couple of days or weeks, I've had some experiences with cold air rushing by, or cold spots. And I said, it's just weird, it like started all of a sudden. Usually it's like you get these experiences and then some things start to happen, but this just felt different. It wasn't like the other times. So they feel the rush of cold air. And then, so they check everywhere, they check now they did have the air conditioner on, so they brush it off. So, 15 minutes goes by. Now this all happened in a single day. Usually we would only FaceTime for maybe an hour, maybe two, but that day we talked, this is like 3 days ago. That day we talked for like 4 hours, like 4 to 8, or just before 8. So 15 minutes goes by, all of a sudden, Carly says, her expression changes. And I notice it right away. I'm like, Carly? And she's like, you saw that? And I'm like, yeah, I saw your expression change. I'm like, what's wrong? And she's like, I just felt the rush of cold air. Now, the difference in her room is that her room sometimes gets too cold. So she turned the air conditioner off. And the air conditioner had been off for about 5 minutes. There was no fans in the room. It was just the AC. And so that was turned off. So she says, yeah, I felt that definitely. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, what did it feel like? Because I just wanted to see if everyone's stories matched up. So I had I had Mike and Matt, or I had Mike put headphones on. And I said, because I want to see if the stories match up. Just see if maybe this is something that is intelligent or residual. And so he put on the headphones, put some music on, and she told what she felt. So basically, she was sitting in front of her desk. She had the camera on the desk, and she had her chair. And she was sitting there, and all of a sudden, in front of her face, she felt a rush of cold air. So we looked everywhere. There was none of the windows were open, and the AC had been on for several minutes. So then I had her put on headphones, and I had Mike tell his story. He had his AC on, but he was sitting in a parlor room where there's no way that it could have been the AC like right here. You have a fan that's right here, but it's only going to push air out to a certain distance, and when you're far enough, you're not going to feel the rush of air coming out. But that's what he felt by him. I'm like, was it in front of you? And he says yes. I'm like, okay. So Carla took off her headphones, and I told them that that's exactly what happened to me. And they're like, wait, what? I'm like, yeah. And so I told them, I'm like, this happened several times. The first time it happened, it was still that type of weather where it wasn't extremely hot out yet. Now we're getting to that part of the summer, basically. And so I'm like, okay, so we know that this is weird, and we know that it's not always the same thing. We know this because of but the first time I had the experience, none of the fans were on, and I felt the rush of cold air in front of me. Now, I had only told this. Everybody knew that I was talking about, but it was one of those just paranormal experiences that I just talk about. Nobody, and I only mentioned it one time, and it was a week before this happened. And all my friends are those type of friends that they would not lie about something like this, especially since we all believe in the paranormal. We would never oh, okay, we're gonna say this just, no, that'd be stupid and pointless. So after we discuss and all that stuff, we are like, okay, 30 minutes goes by, we continue to talk, and then my fiance, she says, okay, this is going to be weird when I say this, and I'm like, oh no. And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh boy, it happened to you, didn't it? And I'm like, she's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, so now we know that this is getting weird. So we So we continue to talk, and then my fiance says, okay, now it happened to me. I'm like, okay. Was it in front of you? And she says, no. It happened behind me. And I'm like, now, she has an air conditioner just like I do in my room, and everyone else has one in their room. And I said, okay, this is starting to get very creepy, and not like the normal, like, oh, okay. So she says that I felt it behind me, and I'm like, okay, I'm like, what did it feel like? She said it feels like if someone put a fan right next to me, but sideways, and I'm like, okay. So then, after that, we all just stop, check everywhere, recreate it. Nothing can recreate exactly what had happened to us. So like, okay, so we know now that this is definitely not so we take a moment to recreate. Nothing works. We then, after we can't, we just talk about something, anything that's not this. And about an hour goes by. And then some very weird and creepy things start happening. And I'm going to save that for the season finale. So make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later.